The most underrated snack is the mini cheddar. 11 out of 10. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my recent trip to Berlin, talk to you about all the things that I loved, the things that I found difficult, the things that I would want to know about if I was traveling with a chronic illness, because even though my Crohn's is really well managed at the moment, I still have to make like adjustments and accommodations for it when traveling. And truthfully, I have been traveling for a couple of years now, post-diagnosis and post sort of illness, but I've been getting increasingly like more and more confident as time has gone on. So I just wanted to talk to you about what's helped me to get to that point, basically. Now, I did try and vlog the trip, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still learning how to use my camera. Half the footage I got is unusable because I accidentally filmed it in like slow motion or something, and it's all like laggy and crap. And then the other thing is I only realised how to zoom in and out, and then how to quickly change to like choose your viewpoint like halfway through the trip, which is slightly embarrassing. Let me reset myself. See, I still can't use it. Crap, what have I done now? It's like focusing on something really random. Let it find my face again. Okay. But yeah, so full disclosure, I'm not very good at using my camera yet. It was practice and half the footage I got was no good. But I have got like 5.5, 6 minutes of cuteness that I'm going to share at the end as well. But let's talk about Berlin. I have never been to Germany before. I haven't done loads of European travel, but when I have gone away, it's always been like Spanish speaking or French speaking places. And I personally love language. I really, really enjoy foreign languages. I love speaking and learning them. At the moment, I practice Spanish regularly with a tutor and a group. So I was like really apprehensive about going to Germany because I don't speak German. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're in Berlin. Do not worry. Everyone speaks English. But I'm like, no, I feel rude. I really want to speak some German. So I was a bit nervous about that, to be honest, and in my own ability to keep us safe and know where we're going and just be able to communicate with people. But I didn't need to worry. It was literally fine. I learned, the classic sort of, hello, goodbye, how are you, where's this phrases. But my German was quite embarrassing, to be honest. And towards the end of evenings, or if I'd had like a glass of wine or something, I'd just be like, sorry, here's the tip. But it was a really nice place. We arrived on the Friday. We were due to fly home on the Monday morning. And we got there on Friday night. And we had an email from our holiday agency to say that there had been sudden sort of strikes planned at the airport, but to go there anywhere on Monday and await instruction. Which was a bit sus, but whatever. And then a couple of hours later, we were literally out having a drink, and Mitchell just got an email off Ryanair, who was the airline we were going with, to say that our flight had been cancelled. And by the time we logged on to find other flights that we could swap for, there weren't any until like the Thursday. So we were like, what are we going to do? It was a bit stressful. I was a bit like, oh no. And Mitchell's a man who loves a plan, and he likes to be in control in these situations, and we were not. And I think we were both a bit stressed. So we marched back from this lovely little Mexican bar. I had a lovely margarita. We stomped about 45 minutes back to the hotel, and I sat on the phone for an hour trying to sort it out with our holiday provider and then with the airlines and things. And we finally settled on getting the next available flight home with Ryanair, which was on the Wednesday. So it extended our stay by 2 whole days and 2 nights. Which at first we were a bit overwhelmed by, because we have lots of work on. Mitchell and I are both self-employed, and you know how hard and how much it costs to have a day off. But then after we'd sort of come to terms with it, and after our holiday provider had booked us in the hotel free of charge for the extra nights, we were like, this is an opportunity. Mitchell and I, haven't been together on our own in a long time, and it was really nice to have some like scheduled us time. And the fact that it was extended, I was just like, oh, it's meant to be. Now that the dust has settled, I'm actually really excited to be here. And we were so lucky with the weather. We arrived and it was like 15, 16 degrees, but it was actually warm in the sun, and it was t-shirt weather, and we had the sun out the whole time we were there. So we were just really lucky, and I'm really glad the week got extended. We went with no agenda. I just wanted to walk around and eat food, essentially. And I am going to pop in some photos of all the food we ate because, oh my gosh. And I might do like my favourite like cafes, restaurants and so on. But we basically did that. We went to a few museums, just the ones we felt like on the day. We went to the zoo, and this is interesting because I've never really been to the zoo. I think I was taken as a child by my parents. But I was like literally like 2 or something. And I've not been since. And I've always had like mixed feelings on the vibe. But after we walked through this one like concept mall, there was a window straight through into like the primate enclosure. And I was looking at the animals through the window and I was like, Mitchell, I want to go and see the babies. So we went into the zoo, and it was actually a really relaxed space. It was really nice and they were well looked after, and it was just really nice to go and see some creatures. So we did that. We went to the cinema. We watched Mickey 17 because we had all the time in the world. One thing I would say, Berlin is expensive. Like, cost of living has dramatically increased in the UK, especially where I live. I live in quite an affluent space. And, you know, things are expensive. Berlin was expensive. Like 2 croissants and 2 coffees in like a cute little indie coffee shop was like 25 euros a pop. So yeah, I would take money with you. I think I obviously was only expecting to be there for 3 nights, and I took £300 with me, and we probably spent about £100 a day, so we did go a little bit over, but that was fine. In reality, it's like, when else are you going to have that much of a good time? So yeah, it was really, really good. We got home yesterday. We both had just the most wonderful time, lots of belly laughs, lots of just walking around, enjoying being in the sun. But yeah, I'm going to talk you through some of my favourite bits and my hints and tips. So I kept some receipts so I could remember exactly where we went and what we enjoyed the most. I thought I'd start with coffee shops because I do drink, but very sort of as and when I feel like it. So coffee culture is really important for me on a trip. It's a nice place to stop, have a drink, be social, rest your feet, you know, and do all those nice things. So we did go for quite a few coffee shops. There's a couple of chains that are just generically like on every street corner, so you'll never be without coffee. But if you're looking for like barista made, Australian or Italian coffee, there are loads of options. Some of our favourites, one was called Silo. And there's a couple of these in the city. We stopped and had brunch. We had this amazing, what was it? It was like homemade sourdough with eggs and avocado and all that, but like a maple cured bacon. And then this sort of strange take on like a classic German sauce that had like Worcestershire sauce vibes, a bit with like currywurst. It was really strange, but it was really good. The coffee here was really nice. I would say the homemade freshly squeezed orange juice in this city is second to none. Like, I'm not a massive fruit juice person, but we kept getting orange juices every time we had a coffee because it was just like the perfect pulpy, sort of fresh, a bit sweet, a bit sour orange juice. So we really enjoyed that. Silo was one of our favourites. We went to a place called District Coffee. And what I'll do in the caption is I'll like pin them all so you can go and have a look. And District was so good. We walked probably 30 minutes for breakfast the morning we went there because we were staying in Alexanderplatz, which is like city town centre. But I'd seen that it was like a nice vibe in there and I wanted to go and have a look. Mitchell had the breakfast sandwich, which he's been talking about since. It had like an omelette in it with like a special sauce, some German sausage and all these nice things. And I had the French toast. Oh my goodness, it was so delicious. It was really, really special. And again, we had 10 out of 10 orange juice. And both of those breakfasts, let me have a look at the receipts. They were like, one was 44 euros and one was 48. So, you know, that's how much you're probably going to pay for a coffee and orange juice and a plate of food for breakfast. But we didn't mind, to be honest. Like, it's a big part of our day, going out and experiencing the food. The cafe culture is really nice. People did speak multiple languages in there. I was actually quite impressed, or surprised, I should say, to find a few people spoke Spanish. So that was really good for me to be able to like meet them in the middle. So that was nice. I would say there is a massive vegan scene in like Berlin, like everywhere, like not even just like vegan cafes. Like we'd walk into places and it would just be plant-based completely. And it was absolutely stunning. We went to this one, what was it called? Round and Edgy. This is like a coffee, like an Australian coffee bar, and they do cookies. These were insane. I had the chocolate chunk with sea salt, and Mitchell had Granny's blueberry strudel. And yeah, these were 10 out of 10, completely plant-based. That's probably the best coffee we had while we were out there. And then the other place that was really good was a place called Sophie, and it was actually a bakery, and it was through like a secret sort of hidden courtyard, and we had it on our last morning there, and it was just like, oh, the smell of the bakery. They had bread coming out of the oven and wraps and special German breads and cakes and biscuits and things. And then we had pastries, and they had just like really beautiful, interesting flavors. We had a breakfast bun that had like ginger, like fresh ginger and cardamom. And I had a almond croissant, but it had like orange peel in it, and it was just like everything was mwah. And it was very trendy, I can't lie. It was like cool vibes. I felt like the least cool person there. But they were really nice, and again the coffee was really good. So yeah, there's loads of great places to drink coffee and eat cake, and I'd recommend going to all of them. And like I said, like loads of it is vegan and plant-based. There's amazing options. I was really impressed. There's lots of gluten-free, dairy-free. So you can travel with confidence, and it was really easy to express any sort of dietary needs. Most places, when they sit you down, ask you just like they would here. So it's a really nice place to eat confidently. We ate some bad for you food as well. We had, of course, like currywurst and fries. We had by the slice pizza, both like Chicago deep pan and then like New York pie style. My favorite place was somewhere called Magic John's. It's opposite one of the art and photography galleries, and it's just like a pull in, pick up your pizza and eat it. This was, oh, it was really, really delicious. I honestly haven't been thinking about it since. And I'm like, I might open one of these like takeaway by the slice pizza bars in my own town, because it is missing. Like, it was really, really nice. And that was much more reasonably priced. You know, you can get a slice of pizza for like €4. So it was really good, and that was fun. The rest of the food, we really mixed it up. The first full night we had in, where did we go? Oh my gosh, we found this German bar, probably a 10-minute walk from Alexanderplatz, still in quite a commercial area, but down a little road. We went into this basement, and I'm going to try and plug a video because this was the cutest day ever. It's in the vlog. We were seated at like a bar table. We were eating traditional sort of like hearty German food, had a beer. The hospitality in this place was 11 out of 10. They were so friendly and warming. And then there was this German guy playing the piano and singing to everyone. And we were in there for like 2.5, 3 hours, and the whole bar, when I say the whole bar, I mean it, was like clapping, swaying, singing. People were getting up and taking on turns to dance. People were like taking their little elderly granddads up to have a dance and a kiss. And it was like, oh, it was so wholesome. It was like the kind of joy that you can't help but feel ecstatic over. Like, feeling other people's happiness was so infectious. And we just sat there and watched everyone pretty much in silence if we weren't just laughing. I did get tears in my eyes at one point because it was just so perfect. Like, seeing all these people just love each other and enjoy themselves. I was like, no matter what goes on in the world, like, we're going to be okay because we've got this. So that was really, really special. It was very hearty and down to earth. And then to completely contrast that, we found a really beautiful Japanese restaurant. What was it called? For the night, the second night, House of Small Wonder, I think it is. And this is, I don't know what the area is. I think it's called Mitte or Mitte. I'm really sorry about the German. But just outside of sort of Alexanderplatz, slightly north, there's like a cute little, you know, villagey bit. What I would say about the city is it's not like centralized with things spreading out. There are just pockets everywhere. So before you go, definitely sort of map out or ask people which sort of pockets they loved going to. I'm going to write that in the caption as well, and come back to that later. But yeah, you can't really, like, it's very easy to be in a nice little vibe and then walk for 5 minutes and completely lose it. But then if you walk another 5 minutes, you're going to find it again, type thing. So that was really cute. And we had like Japanese tapas, I guess. We had some small plates. And again, service was amazing. Japanese people are just the best, aren't they? Just so warm and friendly and smiley. And we sat there, enjoyed the atmosphere and the environment. Everyone was on dates and things, which was really cute. And we were under little table lights, and the food was it was really good. We had a matcha loaf for dessert as well, and I've been trying to get Mitchell to try matcha for ages, and he actually liked it. So that was really fun. The third night we went to the cinema, so we didn't eat dinner. What did we have at lunch? Honestly, we've eaten so much food, I can't even remember. And then the final night we decided, we found this Irish bar, and Guinness is my favourite drink. So I was like, look, it's close to home, final night, let's just have a few beers. So we did that, but before we went and got like bratwurst and fries and things, like loaded fries. So yeah, the food seems amazing. It is, you know, it's going to cost you money to eat, but it's the main pleasure and joy I think you can have there. We ate really, really well. There's so much diversity, like there's very authentic, like homey foods, there's very like European continental vibes, there's classic coffee shop vibes that you expect to see. There was like delicious you know, street foods and things. So yeah, I would just eat your way around the city, to be honest. It was really, really good. We stayed open to all kinds of desserts as well. We had this unbelievable cheesecake that had like a mirror glaze on top, which was really, really good. And just lots of donuts and biscuits and things all the time. Like, my stomach is so sad. But yeah, it's really very comfortable. I would say toilets. There are public toilets that are available to use. Some of them are free of charge. Some of them are like a nominal, like 25 or 50 cent. Is it cent? Out of a euro? Anyway, it's like 25, 50 pence, whatever the equivalent is. But most places had, like if you were in a restaurant or something, they had like a key code for the toilets. So a few people, like while I was away, came up to me and just asked for the number off my receipt because they needed it. I would say, I mean, I was having a good time Crohn's wise, but if you are a little bit anxious or if you're apprehensive about traveling, there's no like radar key equivalent there, which is quite a shame. But I still took my can't wait card with me. I didn't need to use it, but I feel like it would have been well received. But the other thing that I did instead was whenever we were going to go anywhere, I just went onto Google Maps, found some areas, found some bathrooms, and then pinned them to the map. So wherever we were, I knew where I could, you know, go and be, you know, do what I need to do. And I would probably recommend you do the same, just because it is quite easy. Like I said, you sort of go through an area that's quite full and bustly, and then you can be in like a really residential space really quickly. And then it might be, you know, 20 minutes before you're somewhere else again. So I would definitely look at that. The good news is public transport is 11 out of 10. There was so much. We didn't get checked once. The whole journey we were there over our like tickets. We didn't have to scan them in anywhere. But we just bought like the 72-hour like all you can eat pass basically. And there's the S-Bahn, the U-Bahn, and then there's like trams and things as well. Hop on, hop off. It is so easy. I use the app City Mapper, which my friend taught me to use in London. And you can basically just drop a pin or put in a location and it will just take you there via all the modes of transport. And I'd really recommend that. It was so easy. But again, the stations are really easy to navigate. You just look for a U or an S on a sign, you pop downstairs. There's normally just like platform A in one direction and platform B in another direction, and that's it. Like, it was so easy. So you can really comfortably get round. And yeah, we were barely, like, it's so relaxed there. Like, no one really checked anything. Mitchell pointed out that there was like hardly any advertising as well. Like, when you're in London and you're on the underground, like, it's just plastered in adverts and things, whereas everything was just very clean and calm. And like, you know, there was just not that much going on. So that was really good. Easy to get round. But yeah, definitely tips are to map the sort of neighbourhoods or the areas you want to go to. There's lots of different places with lots of different vibes. I would definitely pin like restaurants or cafes or public toilets that you feel comfortable using so you can get back to them. Public transport could not be easier. Everyone's very friendly. You'll be fine. The food is really good. They're really great with accommodations and things. I was exhausted by the end of the trip. Like, I kept up with Mitchell pretty well. I really indulged in food and drink. I was so poorly the night before we travelled home, which was a shame. But I sort of expect that. Like, it's not like a Crohn's flare, but my body's like, okay, we've had enough now. But I did really push her. But it was really good. We had a good time and I just loved it. The other thing that we did while we were there is go into like galleries and museums. There are bloody loads of museums in Berlin. Like, if you Google it, you won't find even half the amount there are. Like, I felt like every street we walked down, there was like a museum or a gallery. Interestingly, most of them are not free. They're like between 12 and maybe €16 each. However, if you get one of those like all day passes for the city, then you tend to get like a discount. And again, if you're disabled or if you're a carer or anything like that, there's normally like alternative pricing for that as well. But I would say it is so worth it. We went into an art and photography gallery. We went into the Samurai Museum, which was, we actually got on the back of our tickets. I'm going to use these to put these cards. These are the tickets. And it was really, really cute in there. We had a look through the Deutschland Museum, which is relatively new. That's like an immersive, interactive walkthrough experience. You start in like, I don't know, 800 BC in Germany, or what was now. You start in like, I don't know, 800 BC, like where Germany is now, and you follow the German area through history, through time, all the different eras. And we had so much fun. Like, this is the best museum I think I've ever been to. I think we were in there for like an hour 15, but there is so much to like feel and experience. There's smells and sounds and textures. There was interactive quizzes. We had little things like it talked about in one of the eras when a German person invented the print press, and you got to like make your own little printed press bookmarks. We took photos together in little photo booths. It was just really, really fun. I was so impressed with like the museum vibes and the scene there. We really enjoyed popping in for an hour here and an hour there. And I'd really recommend, you know, proper shopping around. There are literally, like, I think there's more than 100 in the city. There were just so many. We didn't do a lot of the main touristy things because we were in Alexanderplatz. The radio, the TV tower, whatever it's called, was literally right there. We had a coffee under it every morning, but we didn't feel the need to go up and look at the sort of view. We were staying quite high up in the park inn, so we had a good view anyway. We did go to the wall. Well, we went to the East Side Gallery, which was wonderful. There is so much artwork up on the wall, but we didn't go through any of the like museums that explained the wall, just because we are quite relaxed, easygoing travellers, and I don't mind doing touristy things. I've got nothing against it, but it just wasn't our vibe. Like, I might have gone and done that if I was on my own, but we, you know, had an agenda and we wanted to do what we wanted to do together. So we didn't do loads of the massively touristy things. I, to be honest, think that culture is through food and talking to people on the street. But there is so much to do there. There was a Cold War museum that I really wanted to go to, but we just didn't get round to. There's loads. We accidentally walked past Checkpoint Charlie without realising on our stomp back home to the hotel on the first night, which is like sort of the American district. And There's like some bits and bobs set up there that we just walked past. I would say that like the Parliament and also like the business district where all of like the embassies are and everything, these areas are very visually stunning. The architecture is incredible. They're so well kept. It's so clean and quiet and calm there, that you can really see a lot without having to pay or go into certain venues. But yeah, it was really cool, and it's really arty. It's arty as shit. Like, there is just stuff everywhere. I was amazed at just how much graffiti and vandalism there is everywhere, but it's like an art form. The people, the young Berliners, like the young boys and girls, shit me, I felt like a granny next to them. They were so cool, so funky. There's a very big sort of alternative scene that's rising in Berlin. You know, there's been a massive dance scene there since the 90s and things, but I don't know, like fashion, old school film photography, there's like certain vibes, you know, like all this plant-based is definitely growing, and it was really cool to walk around. No two people look the same. No one was wearing the same stuff. We went to this incredible flea market on the Sunday, and I've never seen such a serious bit of like flea market kit. It was really funny. And the young uns just really loved it. There were people busking everywhere. There was like just a really big vibe, and anything goes. And that was really nice. I loved seeing how creative and different everyone was. And yeah, there's loads of like secondhand vintage shops and markets. There's lots of flea markets on Sundays if you ever go on a Sunday, and they're really good. There's lots of shit, but there's also lots of treasures within it. But yeah, it was really, really cool. I think that's basically all my recommendations. You are going to be walking a lot, and I think that you can see most of the city by foot. There were only like a few journeys really where we hopped on a train and stayed on for like a long time because we were going from like one end of town to the other. But I would recommend walking on foot. If that's going to be exhausting for you, which it was for me at points, just pin in like loads of coffee shops or places to sit, or again, like museums are a really nice break to come off the street and just sort of be in a curated space. But yeah, that's basically it. I really loved it. I'm so glad we had an extended stay. The extra 2 days really helped us to get the most out of it. I loved the food. Coffee shop culture was 10 out of 10. The people were really lovely. The place is really nice. It's so arty. And truthfully, I feel like I haven't even seen a bit of it. Like Mitchell and I were talking when we came back from Prague, which is one of the last sort of city breaks we went on together. We'd been for like 3 or 4 nights, and we felt like we'd really exhausted the place. Whereas Berlin is massive. It's just massive. And because it is like all neighborhoods sort of clicking together, you could just be looking around and walking around for days. So I'd bear that in mind and not push yourself to squeeze everything into one trip. Like, we'll definitely go back one day. But yeah, it was really good. And I tried to vlog, like I said, so I'm just going to leave you now with a cute little 5 minutes of the little bits and bobs that I did capture. But yeah, that's my waffle. I had a great time. I'm going to put some pictures on. I'll leave all my recommendations in the caption. And yeah, if you go, let me know and we can talk about it. But yeah. So I decided I'm going to vlog our trip to Berlin, which was my gift off Mitchell for Christmas. I've just let him know that that's my plan, and he said he's not going to take me on a trip again. But we're going to have a really nice weekend. We're at the airport. Security was like really chilled out and easy, and now we've just got to wait like literally 2 hours because we were in and done for our flight. But the weather's supposed to be nice, and I'm excited despite how tired I look. Yeah. Just smile. We have arrived, and I got us on the first correct train straight away. Never been more content. I was really worried when we came because normally when I go somewhere I can speak the language, and I don't know any German. I was a bit panicky, but we've nailed it. We're in the middle of town. It's t-shirt weather. Yeah, exciting. Say hello, Mitchell. Yeah. This is Very interviewing. We just checked into our room where we've got a little interview desk. So, Mitchell, what are your intentions with my daughter? Where do you want to go? Following your little face. Sorry. So it's the first evening, we've had a lovely walk around town, we're sat outside this cute little Mexican bar, I've got a margarita, life's really swell, and then we've had this email, and we get bad luck like this when we travel literally every time. Last time we got a flight from the UK last year on our holiday, we were delayed by 10 hours. But anyway, we've had an email from our holiday provider to say that there's Germany-wide airport strikes and our flight home's been cancelled. There's no flights home until like Thursday. And to top it off, Mitchell forgot to get travel insurance, so I don't know what we're going to do. We booked our holiday, a holiday agency, so I'm going to give them a bell and be like, can you sort us out, bestie? But I'm not sure what they're going to do. And Mitchell has threatened to walk away if I flip the camera on him, but best to say, he's not the happiest bunny. Ice route.
Aber ich sehe die jetzt auch nicht jeden Tag auf der Straße.
Wie wenn das jetzt ein Aufruf wäre, müsste einfach gehen. Für alle Zeit. Für alle Zeit.
Smile. Say good morning.
Good morning.
I've lost Mitchell. Cute market though. We're gonna get brunch. So it's Monday, which is nice because a lot of town was closed yesterday. I had a little meltdown in the middle of the day because I got lost out of town and there was just nobody about and it was a bit stressful. I had a meltdown. That's not what I said. I had a meltdown. But it's a new day and we are in the bikini, what's it called? Bikini market or something? Which is like a concept space, which is what we're in now. But there's a window straight into the zoo. And I've not really ever been to a zoo and I just saw the monkeys, so we're going to go and have a look at the zoo in a bit, which is exciting. But yeah, that's it really. Here's the man. We're in the zoo. I can't say I've been to a zoo since I think my mum took me when I was 2, but this is cute. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but actually it's quite a nice zoo. It's relaxed and open. Mitchell's my tour guide. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Look at him holding his little snack. Oh, what a beautiful baby. With you. Oh, the Hello, mister. Bring your face in. Bring your face in.